Shiva Swarodia. Introduction. Swarodia Vijnana is the science of prediction about the breather's health, his future, and auspicious or inauspicious possibilities for him in various walks of life through the rise of breathing in one or the other nostrils. Due to a causal relationship, the prana vayu and the manas are one. Therefore, by conquering the prana vayu, one can conquer the mahaprana and the manas. Achievement of the conquest of the mahaprana and manas, and the knowledge of the essence through this conquest is called Swarodia. Although due to the diversity of the Suksma Shakti or subtle power, the activities and fruits of Swarodia are infinite, yet a little of it is being described here for the benefit of the yogis. There is no better brother than Swara Vijnana, or better wealth than Swarajnana, or better secret than Swarajnana. Destruction of enemies, meeting with members of the fraternity, achievement of wealth, fame, and bride, interview with king, and even subjugation of the kings, all these can be achieved through Svaravijnana. All the Puranas, Smritis, Vedangas, and Tantras have originated from Swara. Therefore, there is no other better friend in this world than the Svara Vijnana. The science of Swarodia is superior to all other sciences. Just as one needs a torchlight in order to see the things in house, so for self-enlightenment one needs the knowledge of Swarodia. Kinds of Vayus. There are 10 kinds of Vayus, or airs, residing in the body. Prana, Apana, Samana, Udana, Vyana, Naga, Kurma, Krikara, Devadatta, and Dhananjaya. All these Vayus keep on roaming in the various vessels of the body. A person adept in the science of Swarodia experiences the activities of these Vayus through 3 most important Nadis, the Pingala, Ida, and Shushumna. Relation of respiration with age. Ordinarily, a human being breathes about 13 to 15 times per minute. Thus, in a full day and night, or 24 hours, the total number of respirations reaches to about 21,000. It is an established fact that lesser is the number of respirations in an organism per minute, the greater is his lifespan. In other words, if we control and minimize the number of our respirations, we can increase our lifespan. Swara and its rise. Many people may not have noticed this, but it is a fact that the continuous act of inspiration and expiration, indeed of being performed simultaneously through both the nostrils, is performed with fixed periodic rhythms through left and right nostrils alternatively. That is, when the period of one nostril is over, the breathing automatically passes to the other nostril for almost the same period. This act of breathing is called swara, and passing of this act from one nostril to the other is called udya, or rise of breath in that nostril. This Svarodaya is Swarodia, is thus science of divination from the rise of breathing in one or the other nostril. Duration of respiration in one nostril. After the rise of breathing in any nostril, it continues through it for 2 gatikas, or 1 hour. This means that breathing alternates from one to the other nostril after every 1 hour in a rhythmic manner. Name of the swaras. The left nasal passage is called Ida, and the right is Pingala. The middle is called Shushumna. When the swara is flowing through the left nostril, it is called Ida swara. When it is flowing through the right nostril, it is called Pingala swara. When, however, the swara is flowing through both nostrils simultaneously or alternates erratically in both nostrils, it is called Shushumna swara. The Ida is representative of moon and the Pingala of sun. Therefore, the Ida swara is called moon swara and the Pingala swara the sun swara. In order to follow the subsequent descriptions, these various names of the 3 swaras must be kept in mind. Method of knowing the swara. Press one nostril and note if breathing is going on in the other unobstructed. In case there is obstruction, then the former nostril should be left and this one pressed. Now, if the breathing is going on completely unobstructed in the former, then it is the nostril through which the swara is flowing. For example, press the left nostril first and note if the right is breathing completely unobstructed. If there is obstruction, then leave the left and now press the right nostril to see if the left is breathing smoothly and in an unobstructed manner. If there is no obstruction, then it should be presumed that the left swara is flowing. However, if there is no obstruction in either, or there is some obstruction in both, then it should be presumed that the Shushumna swara is flowing. Thus, the nature of the swara should first be determined before proceeding to any prognostic inference. Method of changing the swara from one nostril to another. Whenever there may be a necessity or desire to change the respiration from one nostril to another, one should lie down for a while sideways, on one side which the nostril is breathing at the moment. Soon the breathing would change over to the other nostril. For example, if one is breathing from the left nostril and wants to change it to the right, he should lie sideways, pressing the left side. This will automatically change his breathing to the right nostril. In other words, one should lie on the opposite side of the nostril to which he wants his breathing to change over. Lying on the left side will induce breathing through the right nostril, and vice versa. Principle of flow of the swara, or breathing from the left and right nostrils. Usually the swaras flow on this principle. On the first, second, third, seventh, eighth, ninth, 13th, 14th, and 15th day of the lighted fortnight, it should pass from sunrise onwards through the left nostril and alternate according to the rule of its periodic rhythm. Similarly, on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 10th, 11th, and 12th of the same fortnight, it should pass from sunrise onwards through the right nostril, and proceed according to the rules of its alternation. The same schedule holds good for the same days of the dark fortnight as well. Importance of the knowledge and control of the swaras. Through one-pointed concentration, yogis, with reference to the passages of moon and sun, that is, of Ida and Pingala, respectively, can know anything and everything. A yogi who can bring the Ida Nadi into the Pingala Nadi and vice versa, or catch the rays of the moon through the rays of the sun and vice versa, can live as long as the moon and stars would exist. A yogi who is versed in directing the passage of the nadis at will and studies the science of swara remains safe from all kinds of pains and obtains his desired fruits. Panchatattvas, or the five elements. The entire universe is made up of five elements: earth, fire, water, air, and ether, and at the same time of pralaya, or final dissolution. It again dissolves into these five elements. That supreme element which is beyond these five is the unstained Brahman. Now, one must pay attention to the fact that along with the rise of swara, there is a rise of one or the other of the five elements as well. Therefore, it is necessary to know what element is reigning during the flow of a particular swara, because yogis versed in the science of Swarodia and also in the ways of knowing the rise and reign of the elements can know the good and bad results for the person under their influence. Nature of the elements and the method of knowing their rise. The yogis, for the purpose of concentration and so on, have imaged the existence of various chakras in the human body. Each of these chakras, which are lotus-shaped, is the seat of one or the other element. Therefore, one should concentrate on one of these chakras for the dhyana of different elements. The earth element. In the human body, this element is situated in the Muladhara chakra and is connected with the Shushumna near the anus, from where the Shushumna starts. The earth element is concentrated upon in this chakra, which is the representative of Bhu-loka in the body. The color of earth is yellow, and its shape square. Its quality is smell, and hence its sense organ is nose, and the motor organ is the anus. It is said that diseases like jaundice and so on develop due to a disturbance in this element. There is also a predominance of this very element in mental disturbances like phobias. All diseases arising out of a disturbance in the earth element are automatically cured by concentration on the Muladhara chakra. Method of concentration. After a quarter of the night is over, one should select a silent place and pure seat. He should bend his legs and sit on them. the back of his hands should be kept on the respective knees in such a manner that the fingertips point towards the abdomen. In this position, fixing the gaze on the tip of the nose, he should, in Muladhara Chakra, concentrate on the square and yellow earth with Lam Bija. The water element. In the human body, this element is situated in the Swadhisthana Chakra. This chakra is situated at the root of the genital organ and is the representative of Bhuva Loka in the body. The color of water element is white and form is like the half moon. It is responsible for all the sensations of taste. Emotional disorders owe their origin to this element. Method of concentration. One should sit in the same posture as specified for earth element, and then concentrate upon the water element, which has Vam for its bija, whose brilliance is like that of the moon and form like the half moon. Concentration upon this element relieves the feeling of hunger and thirst and develops tolerance. The yogi obtains the power of unobstructed movement in water. The fire element. In the body, this element is situated in the Manipura chakra. This chakra is situated in the region of the navel and represents the Svahaloka. Color of this element is red and quality form. It is triangular in shape, and its organs are eyes and the karmendriyas or motor organs. Disorders like anger and swelling in the body arise due to an imbalance of this element. Siddhi in this element removes indigestion and other stomach disorders and facilitates the process of awakening the Kundalini. Method of concentration. Sitting in the same posture as the above two cases, one should concentrate upon this element, whose bija is Ram. Form triangular and brilliance like that of fire. Siddhi in this tattva develops tremendous appetite for food and drink, and tolerance of scorching sunshine or fire. The air element. In the body, this element is situated in the Anahata chakra. This chakra itself is situated in the heart region and represents the Mahaloka. Color of this element is green, and its shape has been imagined as both hexagonal and round. Its sense quality is touch, sense organ, skin, and motor organ, hands. Disorders of air, such as asthma and so on, develop out of an imbalance in this element. Method of concentration. Sitting in the same posture as the above cases, this element, having Yam bija of round shape and green brilliance, should be concentrated upon in the Anahata chakra. Siddhi in this element bestows the capacity of flying and moving freely in the air. The Akasha element. In the body, this element is situated in the Vishuddhi chakra, whose place is in the neck and which is representative of the Dhyana Loka. color of this element is blue and shape oval. Some imagine it as shapeless also. Its quality is sound, sense organ ear, and motor organ is speech or tongue. Method of concentration. Reciting the Ham Bija, one should concentrate upon this shapeless element of varied colors in the Vishuddhi chakra. Siddhi in this element bestows the knowledge of the past, present, and future. Anjuna and so on 8th siddhis are also attained. Practicing the concentration in the aforesaid manner, the elements become siddha or perfect in about 6 months. Method of knowing the rise and reign of the elements. The bodies of all the creatures existing on this earth to Satyaloka are made up of these 5 elements. All these elements rise and reign in fixed succession during the flow of each swara. This means that during the tenure of each swara, all these 5 elements reign for a certain period. The knowledge of this rise and reign of the respective elements can be obtained through the following methods. Place of the swara in the nostril, shape of the swara, color of the elements, taste of the elements, length of the swaras, and place of the elements in the body. Place of the swara in the nostril. If breathed air is passing through the central part of a nostril, it is indicative of the earth element. If through the lower part of the water element, if through the topmost part of the fire element, if through the sides of the air element, and if it is flowing in a rotating manner through the interior of the nostril, it is ether element. Shape of the swara. When the expired breath is thrown on a mirror, and if the moisture formation is square in shape, it is earth element. If like a half moon, it is water element. If triangular, it is fire element. If round, it is earth element. And if it is in the form of tiny drops or spots, it is ether element. Color of the elements. In order to conquer death, it is proper for the yogis to begin their daily routine only after seeing with effort the sign of the reigning element. A yogi should close the 2 ears with the thumbs of the 2 hands, 2 nasal passages by the middle fingers of the 2 hands, mouth by the 3rd, and the small fingers of both hands, and the 2 eyes by pressing the first fingers of both hands. See Yoni Mudra. And then try to see the elements. Now, if he sees yellow color, it is to be known as the earth element. If he sees white, it is to be known as the water element. If he sees blood red, it is to be known as fire. If he sees black, it is to be known as air. And if he sees drops of various colors, it is to be known as ether tattva. Taste of the elements. When the Prithvi tattva is on the ascendance, a sweet taste is experienced. When Jala Tattva, it is sweet and astringent. When Agni Tattva, it is bitter. When Vayu Tattva, it is sour. And when Akasha Tattva, it is pungent taste. Length of the swaras. At the time of exhaling, if the force of outgoing air is measurable at a distance of 8 fingers, then it is Vayu or air tattva on the ascendance. If 4 fingers, then it is Agni or fire tattva. If 12 fingers, it is Jala or water tattva. And if 26 fingers, it is Akasha or ether tattva. Place of elements in the body. As has already been indicated above, the respective elements reside in different chakras in the body. By concentration on the parts of the body where these chakras are situated, the place which represents the rise and reign of an element would appear distinctly before the mind's eye, and thus indicate its rise and reign. Duration of the reign of elements. After rising, a tattva or element reigns for a definitive period of time, which is as follows. The Prithvi or earth reigns for 20 minutes. The Jala or water, 16 minutes. Agni or fire for 12 minutes. Vayu or air for 8 minutes. Akasha or ether for 4 minutes. That's a total of 1 hour is the duration of one swara. The measures of time here and elsewhere can be inferred on the basis of the following formula. 6 respirations is 1 pala is 24 seconds. 60 palas is 1 gatika or 24 minutes. 2 gatikas is 1 hour or 60 minutes. 60 gatikas is 1 day and night in 24 hours. If we perform various actions of our life in the presence of certain swaras, or breathing through left or right or both nostrils, then definite results follow, both auspicious and inauspicious, good and bad. Our breathing goes on with a rhythmic periodicity through left and right nostrils, although at times it also flows through Shushumna or both nostrils. Therefore, all our works, aims, and pursuits have been classified into 3 categories. Correspondingly, results from the flow of the swara in any of the 2 nostrils or in both. Besides, the elements have also been found to be intimately influencing the results in the presence of various swaras. Therefore, for the success or failure of some particular work or action, where there is a necessity of the presence of one or the other swara, there also is a necessity of the presence of a particular element. In the absence of such a correspondence, often adverse results follow. In this connection, although there can be various situational combinations of the swaras and elements, yet, as a general rule, it can be said that all the static and good works or actions should be performed during the reign of earth and water elements. Works like proprietary rites, friendship, yoga abhyasa, taking divine medicines, alchemy, putting on new ornaments or clothes, marriage, entry into an ashram, water reservoir or house construction, horticulture, yajna, meeting with relatives and friends, colonization of a village or city, proceeding on a journey to some far-off place if the destination is in the south or west, drinking water, urination, and so on, should be undertaken or performed on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, under the left swara, when the earth or water or both of these elements are reigning. Works like embarking upon some difficult or cruel mission, initiation in a practice of arms and weapons, music, riding, physical exercise, boating, construction of yantras and tantras, mountaineering, invasion of some foreign territory or fort, and so on, sensual enjoyments, war, purchase or sale of birds or animals, cutting or pruning plants, severe yogic sadhana, meeting with the king or officer, dispute, going near some unknown person, bathing, eating, and correspondence, etc., should be undertaken on Tuesday, Saturday, or Sunday, under the right swara, when the earth or water, or both, are reigning. Practice of dhyana or dharana should be performed under Shushumna swara, or breathing through both nostrils, on any day, under any element. This list contains a very brief enumeration, where the name of works or objectives only are given, not their elaboration. Some say that all the works enumerated above, which are to be performed under the right swara and in the presence of earth or water elements, can also be performed under the same swara, but in the presence of air and fire elements. But such works should never be performed during the flow of Shushumna swara. Next, we proceed to give situations conducive to fruitful results in various life situations. Work fruitification. Whenever you want someone to do a work of your choice, or make him to accept your views, or desire fulfillment of your personal objectives, then, at the time of proceeding on such a mission, you should put that foot forward which corresponds to the swara at the moment. That is, if the left nostril is breathing, then the left foot should be put forward. However, the element on the ascendance should in every case be either earth or water or confluence of both. After reaching your destination, if you have to talk to the person through whom you are seeking the fulfillment of your objective, then you should begin your talk only after putting him to the side of which your swara is flowing, left or right, at the moment. With these formalities, you will be surprised to find that the person whom you are talking with, even though he is your adversary, does the work according to your desire and satisfaction. This method is a sort of charm for captivating or subjugating the minds of others, and is very effective in obtaining success, particularly in the following works: going as an applicant for securing some job, appearing in some court as a plaintiff, defender, or witness, going for an interview before your officer, proprietor, master, etc. Fertilization. Following are some methods through which even a sterile woman can bear offspring. Besides, a son or a daughter can be produced as desired. Producing a son. Ordinarily, a period of 16 days from menses is supposed to be favorable for fertilization, but even during this period, the later days are successively more favorable. The first 3 nights, Astami, Ekadashi, Trayodasi, Katrudasi, and Purnami or Amavasya, the first, second, third, 8th, 11th, 13th, 14th, and 15th day of every fortnight of a lunar month being prohibited. Now, in order to get a son or daughter, besides night, the consideration of swara is particularly important. Therefore, for getting a son, one should select any of the following nights when the husband's right and wife's left swaras are flowing and earth or water or both elements are reigning. The nights and their effects in producing a son are as follows. Fertilization on 4th night from the day of menses produce a short-lived and poor son. On the fertilization on the 6th night from the day of menses produces a son of an average lifespan. Fertilization on the 8th night from the day of menses produces a powerful and affluent son. Fertilization on the 10th night from the day of menses produces a clever son. Fertilization on the 12th night from the day of menses produces a son of good qualities. Fertilization on the 14th night from the day of menses produces a son of superior qualities. Fertilization on the 16th night from the day of menses produces a perfect son. Producing a daughter. Any of the following nights may be selected from when the husband's left and wife's right swaras are flowing, and when either the water element or the water and earth elements together are reigning. The suitable nights and their effects are as follows. Fertilization on the 5th night from day of menses. The daughter is born not sterile. Fertilization on the 7th night from the day of menses. The daughter is born sterile. Fertilization on the 9th night from the day of menses. The daughter is born affluent and powerful. Fertilization on the 11th night from the day of menses. The daughter is of bad character. Fertilization on the 13th night from the day of menses. The daughter born will bear hybrid children. Fertilization on the 15th night from the day of menses. The daughter very fortunate and may become a queen. Offsprings to a sterile woman. When swara is flowing either in Shushumna or the right nostril, and fire element is on the rise, then, whether it is night or day, even a sterile woman could be fertilized. Rise in fortune. One who is desirous of raising his fortune should follow the following rules. which would remove his bad days and bring prosperity. One should get out of the bed daily at least half an hour before sunrise. In the morning, as soon as the eyes open, one should rub his face with that hand of whose side the swara is flowing, and immediately get up. Now, on coming out of the bed, he should first put the foot of the same side on the ground of which the swara is flowing. For example, in the morning before sunrise, one should, as soon as he opens his eyes, find out which swara is flowing. Suppose it is the left. Then he should rub his face with the left palm, then get up immediately and put his left foot first on the ground at the time of leaving the bed. If at the time right swara is flowing, then the same action should be performed with the right palm and right foot. One who follows this process daily gradually becomes more and more prosperous in life. Extinguishing fire. This may appear surprising, but it is a fact that fire too can be extinguished with the help of swaras in the following manner. When there is fire, one should first find out the direction in which the air is blowing and spreading the fire. Then he should stand in the direction with a vessel full of water, and suck from it a little water through that nostril which is breathing at that moment. Therefore, he should take in his anjali, which is a cavity formed by folding and joining the open hands together, the hollow of the hand. He should take about 7 ratis, which is 1 gram of water, and sprinkle it on the fire. He will notice that soon the fire stops spreading and may extinguish at that very spot. Foreknowledge of death, disease, or calamity, and the procedure of their aversion. It has been pointed out earlier that the time and day for the movement of one or the other swaras are definite. But when some auspicious or inauspicious incident is about to happen, then the time and day of the swaras undergo a change. This change takes place in 2 ways. 1. Movement of the swara is reversed. That is, when the left swara ought to flow, then instead the right starts flowing, and vice versa. 2. Similarly, the duration of the swara also varies. That is, there is an increase or decrease in the duration of one or the other swara. Auspicious or inauspicious results may follow such changes, which can be forecasted on the following basis. 1. Change in the days. If on the first day of the lighted fortnight of the lunar month, instead of the left swara, the right swara is flowing, then there would be a possibility of some loss or strife or disease due to heat any time upon the full moon day. If on the first day of the dark fortnight, instead of right swara, there is a flow of the left swara, there would then be a possibility of some disease due to cold or loss or other distress. If such reverse movements of the swaras continue for 2 fortnights, then there is a possibility of some special calamity befalling on the person himself or his relatives, or the death of some relative may occur. If such a situation continues for 3 fortnights, then it is an indication of impending death of the person himself. If the above change continues only for 3 days, then there will be a possibility of either disease or strife. If the left swara continues for full 1 month, then there will be possibility of some grave disease. 2. Change in time. If there is a change in the duration of the swaras, that is, their duration either increases or decreases, then such changes forecast either auspicious or inauspicious results. Here, as a general rule, it must be noted that change to the left swara is usually indicative of auspicious results, while inauspicious results follow a change to the Sushumna swara, or swara flowing through both the nostrils at the same time. The following depicts various results at a glance. For the left swara, 4 ghatikas results in some unexpected gain. For the left swara, 8 ghatikas is the result some pleasure and comfort. For the left swara, 14 ghatikas results in love and friendship. For the left swara, 24 hours results in splendor and glory. For the left and right swara, half each alternatively for 2 days results in an increase in fame and fortune. For the left in the day and right in the night regularly, it results in long life of 120 years. For the left continuously for 4, 8, 12 or 20 days and nights, the result is very long life, fame and affluence. For the left, for a duration of 10 ghatikas, it results in pain in the body. The left, 12 ghatikas results in producing enemies. For the left swara, 3, 2 or 1 day produces diseases. For the left swara, 5 days continuously produces emotional tension. For the left swara, 1 month produces monetary loss. For the right swara, 4 ghatikas produces some kind of loss or enmity. For the right swara, 2 ghatikas produces enmity with good persons. For the right swara, 21 ghatikas is destruction even of a good person. For the right ghatika, 1 full day and night is a decrease in lifespan and death. For forecasting death, the right swara for 8 prahara means death after 3 years. For the right swara, 16 praharas is death after 2 years. For the right swara, 3 days and 3 nights continuously means death after 1 year. For the right swara in the day and left in the night continuously for 1 month, it means death in 6 months. For the right swara continuously for 20 days and nights, meaning death in 3 months. For the Sushumna, if after flowing for 5 ghatikas does not change still, it means immediate death. Other forecasts regarding death. If a person is unable to see his nose, he will die within 3 days. One whose heart, feet, and scalp become dry after bathing dies within 3 months. If a fat person becomes lean, or a lean person becomes fat without any evident cause, he dies within a month. One thing that must be noted in connection with the above circumstances is that all of them do not occur in every case. One or some may appear in one person, while another person may have other symptoms. However, the following 2 symptoms appear universally in everyone. 1. Close the fist of the right hand and place it in the middle of the forehead, straight above the nose. If you see the right hand thus placed, you will find that the entire forearm, below the fist to the elbow, is appearing very thin. Now, seeing thus, if someday you do not see the wrist portion, that is, the forearm and the fist appear as 2 separate units, then you should take it from that day onwards only 6 months of your lifespan are left. That is, death would come within 6 months. 2. Closing the eye, if one presses the inner end of the eyelid, he will see a bright star shining inside the eye. Now the day he does not see the star is indicative of death within only 10 days. Divination of diseases and their aversion. When the swaras in the nostrils do not adhere to their fixed timings and days, then the body develops diseases. In case a disease has developed due to erroneous functioning of the swaras, then a correction of that functioning can cure that disease. In this connection, some possible disease and methods of their aversion or cure are as follows. 1. Fever. When feverishness is felt, then one should stop the swara which is flowing at the moment and keep it stopped until full recovery. Lying on the same side of which the swara is flowing will stop that swara. Soft cotton can also be placed in the nostril, which is required to be stopped. Headache. When headache is felt, one should lie down straight on his back and stretch both his hands sideways along the body. Assume Shavasana. In this posture, he should then request someone to tightly tie separate strings around the elbows of both hands. This would soon relieve the headache, after which the strings should be untied. In case it is a migraine or one-sided headache, then the hand only of that side whose head is aching should be tied in the aforesaid manner. It is not necessary to tie both hands in this condition. If, however, the same ache again reoccurs the next day, and the same swara is also flowing, which was flowing on the first day, then in addition to tying the elbow of the respective hand, the swara of that side should also be stopped. 3. Indigestion. Persons suffering from indigestion should develop the habit of taking their food during the reign of the right swara. This will gradually relieve the existing indigestion and develop a healthy appetite and digestion. Lying down on the left side for about 15 to 20 minutes after meals also facilitates the process. There is also another way for getting rid of chronic indigestion. One should sit daily for 10 to 15 minutes in Padmasana and concentrate his sight on his navel. This would cure the disease within a week. Other pains. If there is a pain in the chest, back, waist, or stomach, then one should immediately stop the swara which is flowing at the moment. This will give relief from pain. Asthma. When there is an attack of asthma and suffocation begins, then one should immediately stop the swara flowing at the moment. As a measure of permanent cure, he should then try to keep flowing swara, changing from one to another for a month. The greater the effort in alternating the flow of the swaras, the better would be the cure from the malady. Certain other useful treatments. Fatigue. Fatigue due to hard work can be removed by lying on the right side for a while. Prolongation of youth. For this one should try to practice changing swara at will in the day. Whenever there is an opportunity, one should immediately try to change the swara flowing at the moment. Changing the swara many times during the day in this manner considerably prolongs the youth. Along with this practice, if the Viprita Karani Mudra is also performed morning and evening every day, then the benefit would be excessively multiplied. Method of securing long life. Ordinarily, the force of the exhaled breath can be felt up to a distance of 12 angulas or fingers, and that of inhaled up to 10 angulas. The time taken by the inhaled air to come out is ordinarily 4 seconds. Now, reduction in these measures of force and time would enhance the lifespan. Measure of reduction in the force of breath and the results following them are as follows. Reduction of the ordinary measure of 12 angulas to 11 angulas gives stabilization of prana. Reduction to 10 angulas gives great pleasure. To 9 angulas gives poetic powers. To 8 angulas gives perfection of speech. To 7 angulas gives clairvoyance. To 6 gives power of flying in the sky. To 5 angulas gives tremendous speed. To 4 angulas gives all the siddhis. To 3 angulas gives 9 divine treasures. To 2 angulas gives power to assume any form. To 1 angula gives power to become invisible. And to 1 millimeter, the power to remain invincible even before the god of death. That is, it gives immortality. Women and the science of Swarodia. Some persons may be curious to know whether the same rules of this science apply to both sexes, or they are different. However, such a doubt is baseless, because the rules of the science of Swarodia hold good equally for both the sexes. Hence, whatever has been said above should be considered applicable to both men and women. because there is no difference between men and women from the point of view of swara. The difference lies in the physiological construction of the body. In this creation, God has made man the representative of sun, and woman a representative of moon. Hence, a man possesses sun predominating, while woman moon predominating qualities. From the point of view of the science of Swarodia, we can express the difference in these words. When the moon or left swara of the man is flowing, then during that period the strength of solar qualities, or his natural disposition, becomes somewhat mild due to the influence of moon swara. But when the sun or the right swara flows, then due to man's natural propensity, the sun qualities obtain a strong and aggressive form. Just the reverse is the case with women. When the moon or left swara is flowing in a woman, then it should be assumed that the womanly qualities in her have reached their maximum strength. But when the sun swara flows in her, then her womanly qualities become somewhat mild against the influence of the sun. On this basis, the swara science has determined much characteristic fields of work to be performed separately, either by men or women. Answers to questions. Reply to questions of others on the basis of swara depend to a large extent on practice. Moreover, it is not possible within a limited space to enumerate all possible questions or their answers. However, some model questions are being given here. While answering a question, one should note his swara, which may be flowing, and also the element which may be reigning at that moment. If these 2 points are considered correctly, then the reply would never be incorrect. Questions regarding the good or bad results of some works. At the time of the question, if the earth element or water element or both are reigning, and the left or moon swara is flowing in the respondent, then he should reply that the work which the questioner has in his mind would succeed. But if any of the fire or akasha elements are reigning, then the work would be unsuccessful. Coming and sitting on the right side of the respondent, if the questioner asks the question, and at that moment the right swara of the respondent is flowing, then the work will not succeed. But in such a case, if the left swara of the respondent is flowing, and the questioner is also sitting on the same side, then that work would be successful. If the left swara of the respondent is flowing, and the questioner asks his question from above, front, or left side, then the work will be successful. If the questioner enters from the left side and then sits on the right side of the respondent whose left swara is flowing, then the work will be completely lost. Answers to all the questions above have been predicted on the basis of the flow of the left swara in the respondent. But if his right swara is flowing, then in all cases the same answers should be given by substituting right instead of left. In this connection, the general rule which may be kept in mind is this. When a questioner enters from the same direction of which the swara of the respondent is flowing, then the work would succeed. But in any case, it is necessary that the earth or water or both elements are raining. Questions about recovery from illness. If a questioner asks about the patient from the left side and the respondent's sun swara or right nostril is breathing, then it should be understood that the patient would not survive. If the respondent's left swara is flowing, the questioner also asks about the patient from the left side and the earth element is raining in the respondent, then the patient will recover in a month. If Shushumna or both nostrils are flowing, the day of the question is Thursday and the air element is raining in the respondent, then the patient will not die. But if the day is Saturday and ether element is raining in the respondent, the patient will die in the same illness. Questions regarding pregnancy and the birth of a son or daughter. If a question whether a woman has conceived or not is asked from the side whose swara is not flowing, then it should be presumed that the lady has conceived. If a question whether the lady will give birth to a boy or girl is asked, while the left swara of the questioner and the right of the respondent is flowing at the moment, then it should be understood that a son will be born, but he will die. If the right swara is flowing in both the questioner and the respondent, then a son will be born to the delight of everyone. If the questioner's right and respondent's left swara is flowing, then a girl will be born but will not survive. If the left swara is flowing in both the questioner and the respondent, then a girl will be born and she will survive. If the question has been put under Shushumna swara or both nostrils flowing, then there will be an abortion and the mother too will have difficult time. If the ether element is reigning at the time of the question, then too there will be an abortion. Questions regarding the welfare of someone who is away from his home. At the time of the question, if the earth element is reigning, then the person away is quite well. If the water element is reigning, then the person will have to face flood on his way. But if he has reached his destination, then he will be quite well. If the fire element is reigning, then the person away is in difficulty, or he may even die. If the air element is reigning, then it should be presumed that the person has gone still further. If the ether element is reigning, then the person away is either ill or dead. If the Shushumna swara is flowing, and the earth and ether elements are reigning, then the person away would die. If the earth element is reigning, then it should be presumed that the condition of the person is unchanged. Question regarding one who has gone on the war front. If at the time of the question the same swara is flowing in the questioner and the respondent, then it should be presumed that the person on the war front is safe. The earth element is reigning, then the person on the war front has sustained injury on his abdomen. If the air element is reigning, then he has sustained injury on his chest. If the ether element is reigning, then he is injured in his thighs. If the ether element is reigning, then he is injured in the head. The swara is in the Shushumna, then he is either dead or taken prisoner.